You are listening to That Big CEO Energy, where we talk all things business, life, marriage, and push you to a new edge of discovering what that big CEO energy means for you. Listen, I understand that we have barriers that we carry from when we were once employees, and those have impacted us as we continue to build our businesses. I'm here to walk alongside you and give you encouragement through interviews with friends and other women in business who have broken down those barriers and paved their own way. Tune in with me as we uncover some of the unconscious things that we do that keep us from building that big CEO energy we've always dreamed about. Let's dive in. Welcome back. Today we are talking all about the holiday season, right? We know that November, December is just the craziness. It is the craziest time of our lives, especially if you own a product-based business. Now, I don't own a product-based business, but let me tell you something. I work with women in business that have product-based businesses also, in addition to services. And what I can tell you is, it is a wild time. It is the wildest time. And y'all, I have to hand it to you. I have to, because it is wild. That is the only, do you hear me? That is the only title that I can give you all, is that it is just this crazy time and you're just trying to get to the next day. So kudos to you if you have a product-based business, even if you are doing something fun with your services during the holiday season. I just want to give you a big hug, because it is hard out there. And before we kind of get into this episode, I want to kind of showcase what we're going to be talking today, because I think it's really important that we have a plan when we are showing up in our businesses during the holidays. Because a lot of us who are moms, who are business owners, who maybe is the house that you are catering the holiday meal and you are baking and you are doing all the things, it is really, really easy to fall into the trap of letting ourselves be on the back burner. And so today, I hope, if nothing else, that what you get out of this episode is that we can, in our businesses, have the magic and have the resilience of the holiday season in our businesses. And in the world of, hustling and bustling of entrepreneurship already throughout the year, during this festive season, it is so much more amplified, right? It is just 20 times more. Because you've added on shopping, you've added on holiday parties, right? It is so much more. And I just want to take a moment and acknowledge you. Acknowledge that we see you, we hear you, we know that you are working to the bone. And I want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. And so I'm going to give you kind of my top 10 tips that I do for really keeping joy alive in your business amidst this holiday rush. Because sometimes what happens is we get to the end of the holiday season, and if you have a product-based business or if you are doing something fun with your services for the holidays, there's this post-holiday blues that happens. There is also the simultaneous rush of, now we're moving into the new year and we have to deliver on everything that we said we were going to have, right? Whether it's a product-based business, now you're shipping out things. Now you are making sure that the warehouse has enough. Now you are restocking, right? Same with service-based businesses. It's like you've gotten, this holiday rush of individuals, I hope for you. And now you have to onboard them. Now you have to deliver on whatever service it was. And it's almost like when we set the intention to do the holiday things, the post-holiday blues come because now we're so wrapped up in the grind of having to deliver. And before I kind of unwrap these tips, I want to just set the stage here. The holiday season can be a whirlwind for an entrepreneurs, and it's a delicate dance between festive cheer and business demands. And today I want to uncover strategies that not only navigate the rush, but to really infuse joy into every step of your business journey. And so tip number one, we're just going to get right into it, is to embrace the holiday spirit. Listen, I grew up, my grandparents made Christmas so wonderful. On my dad's side, it was all the festivities. We decorated, it really started Halloween. We decorated the pumpkins, and my grandpa grew pumpkins. And so it was really, really nice to just have your own personal pumpkin. You could watch it grow, and he was really big into carving. And so we would carve the pumpkins, and we would always go trick-or-treating, and they always did that with us. And then when we moved into Thanksgiving, it was like that was sacred holiday time. That was sacred get together with family and make sure everybody was loved. And then Christmas time. Christmas was so magical. Like I could cry thinking about it. And my grandparents, one is deceased and the other one has lost, cognitive abilities. And so it is kind of sad now to look back on, but I'm so glad that I have those memories. But during Christmas, I just have to share this short story with you. During Christmas, usually about Thanksgiving, everything would go down, and then my aunt and my grandma would start putting out Christmas. And my grandparents had this enormous tree. And every year we would lug it down. My grandpa would graciously pull the holiday bulbs and make sure that the lights were working, and they always had lights on their house. And we would decorate the tree, and we would play music, and it was just a really lovely time. And my grandma, I'm giggling because it's hilarious. My grandma had this angel that went on top of the tree, and she had two, candles, which you plug in and they light up, and her arms moved. And it was a really beautiful angel. And my aunt, bless her, would teach us that then became a running joke that the angel on top of the tree was Aunt Foofy. Her name is Ruth. And so you can imagine that when we're little, we can't say Ruth. And so we called her Aunt Foofy. So she would, at the end of decorating the tree, like the angel is the last thing to go on top, right? To kind of signify that the tree festivity is done. And she would say, okay, it's time to put Aunt Foofy on the tree. And my grandpa would either go up there or he would hold me or my brother up there to, we always fought about who was going to put Aunt Foofy on top of the tree. And that memory has always stuck with me. But I think one of the best memories that I've had is growing up. We in our town have this Santa house, and it is a beautiful, stunning. Everything is hand carved. Everything is switched out like every other year. I think when we were little, they switched it out every year, but now, cost of things, they probably don't do it every year. But it is so magical. It is Main Street, they put it all together, and Christmas season down on Main Street is just my absolute favorite. And my grandpa worked in the community, so he worked for a company that did a lot of building structures, and he was a welder for them. And so a lot of the gentlemen, when they retired, went to Santa school. And of course, I don't know any of this when I'm little. And we go to the Santa house one time, and I said, "Oh, I can't wait to see Santa today." And as we're going up to the front of the line, Santa says to me, "Well, hello, Zach and Callie." Zach is my brother. "Hello, Zach and Callie." And I lost my mind. How does Santa know my name? How? I don't even understand. I mean, to give any child a Christmas miracle such as that, wild times. So cut to, right? I'm an adult and we can laugh at this now, but my grandpa finally confessed that one of the Santa at that time was a gentleman that he had worked for, and we had known him my whole entire life. So Christmas for me is really, really a magical time because it is about celebrating, the birth of Jesus. And we're not going to get into all the politics on if that's his real birthday or not. You can believe what you want. That's great. And it's about being together as a family and celebrating what we've accomplished. And so Christmas, I've always tried to make Christmas for my family a really big deal. And if you're familiar with Bronner's Christmas store, it is the largest Christmas store in the world. We have that near our house. I'm very gifted in living close to Bronner's Christmas, but like wild things have happened there. Like it is a hub for celebrities to come. Matter of fact, when you walk in, there are tons of pictures of celebrities that have come to Bronner's, including Oprah. So I feel like I'm sort of walking on, high ground when I go to Bronner's. Anyhow, all of that to say, when we embrace the holiday spirit, and maybe it looks like decorating our workspace or adding a touch of festive flair to our website, and maybe it's sharing your business holiday spirit on social media. But connecting with the season not only engages your audience, but it also injects this joyful energy into your work. When you can embrace the joyful holiday spirit and sort of infuse it into the small things that you do, like playing Christmas music. I remember when I worked in corporate and we would have Christmas music playing. I still do that because I really enjoy it. And honestly, singing Christmas carols while you're doing the work, is there anything better? And maybe you're the person that is, I don't enjoy Christmas because it's tied to trauma. It's tied to unfortunate life events that should have never happened to you. And so I just want to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge those that are struggling through the Christmas season. Don't get it twisted. Our family also struggles through the Christmas season. We lost my sister-in-law right before Christmas in 2019. And we all still struggle with that. So if you're not feeling the joy, it's okay. But embracing what you can, finding small moments, finding small things to infuse this joyful energy into your work, it really helps. I promise you. And the second tip is to prioritize your well-being. And this goes hand in hand into embracing the spirit when you really don't feel like it. And amidst this holiday hustle, right? Don't forget to take care of yourself. Schedule in breaks. Get some fresh air. I have been lately taking a short lunch because I am the kind of person that if I sit down at my desk in the morning, I will work until I have to get up in the evening. That is how I do life. But that's not healthy. And that's not taking care of myself. So what I have been doing, what I have been prioritizing is when I go to let the dogs outside in the afternoon, I just step outside and let the fresh air hit my face and just point my face to the sky. Just feel it, because it's so helpful. And we can call it self-care, we can call it whatever we want, but it's prioritizing your well-being. It's ensuring that you're maintaining a healthy work-life balance. And at the end of the day, a healthy entrepreneur is a joyful entrepreneur. And tip number 3 is to plan strategically. Now, for some of us, we have brand new businesses that we're also trying to get off the ground. And so we want to participate in the holiday rush. We do. And it's good for you to do that, because it's like you can learn so much by doing something during the holiday season about who you are, about your business, and what's working and what's not. But you have to plan strategically, and you have to create a realistic holiday business plan and identify the key priorities and the deadlines that ensure you have a roadmap to navigate the season. This is not an area where you should compromise on. When you set key intentions, it is only to get through the holiday season and only to focus on that one thing and only to focus on the deadlines that you need to have. You can, at any other time of the year, talk about your hopes and dreams and goals about everything else. But in the holiday season, as an entrepreneur, you have to stay focused. Because what happens is we get wrapped up into seeing what everyone else is doing. And if you follow similar businesses, you're like, oh yeah, and then I'm going to add that thing into my holiday stuff. And it's like, well, no. That wasn't part of the regular plan. Put that on the docket, maybe to explore next year. But don't fall into the trap of, if someone else is doing that, I need to be doing that too. Get clear on what you're doing. And when you focus on what truly matters to your business in that time, it's much less stressful. But during this time, there is also an area that we're not going to like talking about, and it's delegation. And I'm just going to talk about it. But it's to delegate and collaborate. And don't be afraid to lean on your team or seek collaborations with fellow entrepreneurs during this time. This shared efforts not only lightens the work, but it also fosters the sense of community that we often don't feel like we have during high stress times such as holidays. And so if you have a team of people, if you're trying to get a team of people together, whatever that looks like, find people that you can delegate to. Find them. Because those people are crucial to getting through the holiday season. And if we're offering up special holiday promotions, what I would say is, as the next tip for that, is create one deal and one bundle that aligns with whatever the festive season is, that aligns with your business, and stop doing so much. Stop it. It not only, when you have clear deals, when you have clear bundles, it not only attracts the customers, but it also adds a sense of excitement and joy to your business offerings, because you now know what you're talking about. You now have a clear direction on where you're sending people, and you don't have this sense of, I should be doing more, right? It's coming back and being super, super clear on what it is that you're offering. But I don't want to get lost in the sauce of tip number 6, which is expressing gratitude to your team and to your customers, especially to your customers and especially to your team. If you have a team of people, this is the season, right? That you really capitalize on the fact that it is joy and it is thankfulness that they should be thanked all year round. But I know that that's hard sometimes when you're doing summer launches, when you're doing a lot of things on the back end. But this is the time, especially for customers and your team, to really, really help them understand your appreciation. And listen, gratitude is a powerful, powerful generator of joy. It is so simple that we might not even know what someone is struggling with. It is so simple to say, I'm really glad that you're here with me doing this. I'm really glad. You don't have to send them a fancy gift if that's not in the budget. You don't have to send them an elaborate, Starbucks this and candy that. You don't have to do all that. If that's not in the budget, but a simple holiday card or a simple phone call, emails are fine. They're fine. But how cool would it be to call each and every team member that you have and say, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being on this walk with me in this navigation, right? Of being an entrepreneur. And also customers, if pay attention to your trends, because you will see who is really showing up for you. And it's not about accolades, right? It's not about who is doing the most or who is buying the most. It's really just about sitting in gratitude with where you are and where you've got your business. And when you do that, you nurture a positive business environment. It's really about creating spaces and space with people to be able to have joy in the season. So I want to talk about something fun, which is the Festive workspace. I have a Christmas tree that is super, super fun. I'll put the link to it in the show notes if it's still available. But it's this really cute pop-up tree. And I have learned that when I decorate for Christmas in my office, because I don't see really any other part of the house when I'm working, it really creates a lovely environment. And when you spruce up, your office or even your virtual workspace with a holiday background, it creates a really cheerful environment. And not only does it boost other people's moods, but it can boost your mood and invoke creativity. So I just, if you're looking to create small joy, start with your office. Start with your office. Tip number 8 is to celebrate milestones. So whether it's hitting a sales target or completing a project or just acknowledging that you tried the holiday sale, celebrate that, right? When you recognize and celebrate your contributions, there is a sense of accomplishment and joy. And the holiday season is all about joy. So even if, right, you did all this work with the holiday lunch and maybe you didn't have a single soul buy, great. You did something way outside your box. You did something way outside your comfort zone. What did you learn from it? How can you next year either be more prepared, have more of a clear direction, right? Sometimes that's it. Sometimes that's why things fail, is because we go blank on the internet and then we show up during holiday season and we're like, oh, hi, yeah, hello, I'm still here, buy my thing. And people are like, we don't remember who you are. We haven't seen your things. We thought you weren't around. And I've already allocated my time and my money for somewhere else. And so if that's you, start showing up, right? So that during the holiday season, you can find your people. But it's a good time that if something takes a nosedive during the holiday season, or maybe you have multiple products and one performed really well and one performed not so great, right? You have to be attuned to what your products and what your services are doing during the holiday season. But overall, over anything else, we're celebrating. We are celebrating because you showed up. We are celebrating because you worked really, really hard during the holiday season. And it was still successful. It doesn't matter if you didn't make a sale. You want to know why it was successful? Because you weren't going to do it otherwise. Right? You weren't really wanting to do anything for the holiday season, but you did because you thought you were obligated. Right? True for some of us? And so if you're living in that pool, then that's okay. Because when you did show up, that's what matters. I am not going to get on the track of, well, numbers matter. They do. They do. But you know what also matters? Showing up when it's really scary. Showing up when you didn't have time and you are the one cooking and you are the one holding your family down and getting kids to all their holiday parties. And being chauffeur and picking up Sally's kids because she can't, right? It's all those things that is like, if nothing else, I also, in my business, put out things out into the world and I gave it a go. And now you've set the tone for the next year to come back even stronger, to know what worked and to know what didn't, right? So give yourself grace during that time and know that celebration is okay, even if you don't make a sale. And matter of fact, I would say that celebration is probably more important when you don't make a sale. Because what are you celebrating? You're celebrating the fact that you showed up. You're celebrating the fact that you did the big scary thing that you didn't know that you could do. And that, to me anyways, is well beyond any Black Friday sale that I could have sold my ass on. Tip number 9 is to schedule your downtime. And I know you are already rolling your eyes because it is what downtime? I don't have that. I am maybe a single mom and I have to work all the holiday hours just to make sure that I'm giving them Christmas. I hear you. I see you. I've been you before. And it is really hard. It is really hard. But if you could just allocate specific times to step away. Listen, I'll share this story with you. I was pregnant with my daughter. I was 19 years old. And at that time, I was working restaurant jobs. Where was I working? Oh, the holiday season. I was working at Target. And y'all should have seen me. I was big. Daniela was a big baby anyway. She was 9 pounds. And so you can imagine at 8 months pregnant not 8 months pregnant, 6 months pregnant. Yeah. 6 months pregnant, working the holiday season. And it was awful. It was so bad because when my tummy popped, it was like, now we're ready to give birth, right? There was no in between. There was no slow growth. It was, I don't look pregnant and now I look pregnant. And for some of us, that's how it goes. But I remember going to Target and working 12-hour days, pregnant. I had cankles the size of the United States. Like, it was bad. It was bad. But I was a single mom and I just had to keep grinding. I was so tired. I couldn't even enjoy Christmas. I couldn't even enjoy my pregnancy that year because it was just, I was going from one job to another. And we're just kids trying to make it, you know? And what I realized during that time is I was doing everything I could just to survive that time. And I could not, at that time, have any peace and quiet. And now looking back at it, if I would have demanded that from myself, how much better would that season have been for me, right? If I would have scheduled downtime, how much better would that have turned out for me? And so when we can allocate those specific times, right, to step away from the work and give ourselves the grace to shut work off and step into the holiday season and allow ourselves to be cheerful and allow ourselves to have joy, whether it's attending, a festive event or spending time with loved ones, if that's how you can decompress, or maybe it's just taking a holiday walk by yourself. Right? Maybe it's just going to your downtown area if they light it all up and just spending time with yourself. But downtime is essential for recharging and invigorating your joy reservoir. Our tip number 10 is to reflect and set intentions for the next year. So really take time after the holidays have settled down, after your business has, crushed it, hopefully during the holiday season. Take a moment to reflect on what that journey was, right? Celebrate the successes and learn from the challenges. And really use this reflection to set positive intentions for the upcoming year. When you foster a sense of purpose and anticipation in your own business by reflecting on sort of the journey of how you got through the holiday season and set new intentions for the next year, there's joy in that. There's explicit joy in being able to run through the numbers. That is one component, and run through how proud you are of yourself for showing up the way you did in the holiday season. There's power in that. Because if you do it this year, you can repeat it even better the next year, and better the next year, and the year after that. And then you will find yourself in a constant state of joy, no matter what, throughout the entire year, not just the Christmas season. Friend, Christmas is hard. Holidays are hard when you have a business. And it's about creating a joyful and fulfilling entrepreneur experience. Until next time, may your business be merry and bright, and stay inspired. Thanks for tuning into the show today. If you heard something that helped you, I would love it if you would leave a review and share it with your friends. This helps more people just like you become inspired to move the needle of their big CEO energy into a positive direction. If you would like to learn more about how I can help you streamline and position your business for growth or lead your business as a CEO, feel free to jump into the show notes with all of the links to find me. And don't forget to head over to Instagram so we can be pals.